Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing this, you're not safe. None of us are. This is Cornfield Calls, broadcasting from a transmitter buried deep in what's left of Sioux City, Iowa. My name doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that you stay quiet, lock your doors, and pray the wind doesn't shift tonight. Because out there, in the amber waves of grain, death isn't just lurking, it's blooming. It started with the fields, always the fields. Horizon Agri-Solutions promised a revolution, genetically modified sorghum engineered to burn cleaner than oil. A biofuel miracle, they called it. But 3 weeks ago, that miracle turned rancid. Workers near Harlan reported coughing fits after harvesting the test plots. Then came the fevers. Then the bleeding. Eyes, gums, pores, weeping black sludge. By dawn, they weren't human. Just snarling, twitching things with skin like cracked leather and an appetite for anything that breathed. Let me tell you about Maria Ruiz. She drove a combine for Horizon. Last Tuesday, she radioed her foreman, voice fraying. "Jake, the crops, they're moving when the wind stops, and the pollen, it glows at night." We found her truck overturned near Raccoon River, doors ripped clean off, handprints in blood on the windshield. Inside, nothing but her work badge and a half-eaten Labrador. The outbreak spread like a prairie fire. Pollen clouds rode the jet stream, seeding towns in hours. Des Moines fell first. We watched news choppers film streets choked with those things. Not slow, stupid ghouls. Sprinters, hunters. They climb, they swarm, and they remember. One broke into a daycare in Cedar Rapids. Teachers barricaded the kids in a supply closet while it tore through the hallway. We heard the screams over a baby monitor. "Stop biting, Miss Jenny, stop!" Then static. 30 children, gone before sundown. Now the world burns. CDC containment failed when a swarm overran their mobile lab outside Davenport. Europe's cordoning off airports. China's bombing farmlands. And here, we're on our own. But there's a thread of hope. Dr. Eris Thorne, Horizon's lead botanist, he knows this strain. He designed it. And before comms died, he sent a pulse message. "The sterilization protocol exists. Get me to the research silo near Guthrie, and I can burn this plague to ash." Thorne's convoy left Omaha at 4 yesterday. 5 armored SUVs, 20 Rangers. They didn't last 50 miles. We tracked their dashcam feed. Mile marker 114. Wind kicks up pollen like glittering fog. Rangers start coughing. One shoots his comrade point blank when his eyes bleed black. Then, movement in the corn. Dozens, hundreds. They pour onto the highway, climbing over rigs, shattering windshields. A soldier's final transmission. They're peeling Jenkins apart. God, they're eating his... Thorne survived. Barely. He's holed up in a grain elevator south of Council Bluffs. But the swarm knows he's there. They're clawing at the walls right now. And the only thing between him and the silo? 40 miles of open road and 1 million ravenous dead. You hear that? That's not interference. They're testing the fence. Every night, more come. They don't sleep, don't tire, and they learn. Yesterday, they used a school bus as a battering ram, tore through a survivor camp like paper. We pulled a little girl from the rubble. Her arm was gone. She kept whispering. The corn whispered back, mister. It told them where we hid. Thorn moves tonight. No more convoys, no more guns. Just a hazmat suit, a flamethrower, and a dirt bike. He'll ride the drainage ditches below the pollen line. Pray he makes it, because if that silo falls, the heartland becomes hell's garden. And by harvest season, nothing left but bones and rotten grain. They're close now. I can smell them through the vents, like sour milk and wet soil. Don't know how much longer this transmitter holds, so listen close. If you're near Guthrie, look to the sky around 3. If you see fire, that's Thorn. That's hope. If you see nothing, gotta move. They're in the building. Alive. Barely. They took the studio. I'm broadcasting from a pickup truck heading west. Smells like blood and gasoline in here. But Thorn, he's moving. And God help me, I'm going to tell this story until my voice gives out. Last night, under a moonless sky, Thorn gunned that dirt bike straight into hell. We monitored via thermal drone. First 10 miles, silent. Just the whine of his engine and corn stalks scraping steel. Then, movement. Swarms converged from adjacent fields. He torched the first wave. Flames lit up the night, casting monstrous shadows. But fire draws attention. Hundreds emerged, sprinting alongside ditches. He hit a landmine near a dare, not military, improvised. Survivors rigged traps to slow the hordes. Thorn's bike flipped. We lost thermal. For 3 minutes, nothing. Then, gunshots. Single pistol, muffled grunts. When the drone refocused, Thorn stood alone, ankle deep in viscera, shoving a farmer's pitchfork through a twitching skull. Apologies. Signals fading. Where was I? The silo. Thorn reached Guthrie at 3:47. Horizon's research facility loomed like a tomb, motionless, dark. He radioed. Sterilization tanks are underground. I need 5 minutes to activate the aerosol pumps. But the dead were already scaling the fences. We heard metal groan as they piled against the gates. Inside, worse horrors. Labs were ransacked, hallways strewn with gnawed femurs. Thorn found Dr. Ellis's corpse in Sector 4, still clutching a vial of inhibitor serum. Journal entry. Pollen doesn't just infect, it rewires. They're protecting the fields, like bees guarding a hive. Thorn descended to level B7. That's when the lights died. Backup generators failed. His helmet cam showed infrared glimpses, shapes darting in ventilation shafts, scratching. Then, a whimper. Human. He followed it to a cryo chamber. Inside, a little boy. No bites, just terrified. They herded us here, he sobbed, like cattle for winter. Thorn dragged the boy toward the control room. Almost made it. Then, ambush. 6 infected scientists dropped from ceiling panels. 1 latched onto the boy. Thorn didn't hesitate. Put 2 rounds in the kid's skull before the thing could turn him. Cold? Cruel? Maybe, but mercy's a luxury when the alternative's becoming a monster. He reached the console, initiated sterilization sequence. Alarms blared, red lights pulsed. Outside, the swarm went berserk. They knew. They began hurling themselves at the silo's reinforced doors. Thorn's final transmission was pure static. Then, a roar. Not the dead, machines. Aerial drones swooped overhead, raining napalm across the fields. Horizon's contingency plan. Burn it all. That's Guthrie, right now. Look south if you're near the border. See that orange glow? That's victory. That's ash. But it's not over. Napalm only cleansed 200 square miles. The pollen's already drifting toward Nebraska. And the infected? They're retreating, not fleeing, regrouping. Satellite feeds show them converging on Kansas, digging tunnels, storing corpses, like ants preparing for winter. Humanity's counterattack begins at dawn. Military convoys massing in Chicago. They'll scorch Earth from here to the Rockies. No prisoners, no survivors, just cleansing fire. So here's where we stand. Thorn's gone, burned with his creation. The boy, buried under steel. And me, I'm driving toward the fire line. Because if this is the end, I'll bear witness. They're in the truck bed, clawing at the rear window. I've got a shotgun. 1 shell left. Listen to me. Really listen. This isn't about survival anymore. It's about defiance. So grab a weapon, a wrench, a kitchen knife. Aim for the eyes or the spine. And when you strike, scream. Scream for Maria Ruiz, for the daycare children, for every soul swallowed by the corn. They're inside. Got one. Others are... Crashed. Field outside Shelby. Corn everywhere. They're coming. So many. I'll sign off with this. Even in the dark, look for the sparks. Thorn proved that. Burn bright enough, and the night remembers. This is Cornfield Calls. Signing off.